Today we'll be recapping and reviewing the first 20 chapters of Infinite Leveling Murim. If you've ever wondered if this story is worth your time, I'll help you decide. No spoilers beyond chapter 20, just the tone, the tension, and the promise. Yusong-dan is slipping away, lying on a battlefield of failure, his clan shattered, his body broken. Yusong waits for death, not in fear, but in bitterness. His thoughts drift to his father's voice, steady and unwavering. Hard work will never betray you. That belief was the foundation of Yusong's life. He curses those words, lamenting that all his effort was in vain. But then, he wakes up, back in his teenage body, back in the clan, but this time, there's a system, one that rewards hard work with strength. For the first time, every drop of sweat counts. Yusong finds himself rewound to the moment just before entering the academy, a chance to rewrite everything. This time, he's not the same. Memories of past failures flood him, the tests he barely passed, the moments he hesitated. With this knowledge, he approaches the academy's entrance exams with ruthless focus. Each challenge, once a stumbling block, is now an opportunity to prove himself. At the same time, he discovers the mysterious system aiding his progress. It quantifies his growth, experience points, skill unlocks, stats increasing before his eyes. When Yusong clears his first exam, he suddenly realizes he has the power to see a level floating above each person's head, visible only to him. He postulates that it could be a measure of power. Unexpectedly, he is greeted by two people from his past: Gihu Jiang, a prodigy, confident, and Soso Cheon, a woman from the past known for her cold heart, dubbed the illustrious, beautiful warrior of Cheonbong. They're all called forward to receive their uniforms for the entrance ceremony. Yusong was one of the 5 candidates who passed, but when he is declared the best candidate, the crowd stiffens. The air shifts. Gihu steps forward, smiling, and challenges Yusong to a spar. Despite carrying the weight of 30 years of experience from his past life, he still loses, and he loses badly. It's a harsh reminder that no amount of knowledge can replace raw power in this world. The glowing interface materializes before Yusong, its message clear and unforgiving. Mission failed, and a penalty is applied. Yusong begins to realize that the system doesn't coddle him. It rewards him for achievements, but penalizes him for failure. Haunted by his failures, both past and present, he pushes himself beyond his limits. Every drop of sweat, every aching muscle is driven by a singular purpose: redemption. As the system acknowledges his efforts with rewards, he can feel it. His strength growing, his resolve hardening. This is the moment it all clicks. The system isn't just a tool, it's his second chance. And if he's willing to bleed for it, to suffer and endure, then he will become stronger. As he swung the wooden stick again and again, his stats steadily climbed. What he didn't realize was whose weapon he had borrowed. A simple wooden stick, but one that carried weight beyond its appearance. That weight wasn't just wood, it was the reputation of Jindo Gong, the strongest disciple in the academy and a proud member of the branch house of Cheongsong sect, one of the famed 9 elite sects. When Jindo realized Yusong had been named the best candidate, his smug arrogance faltered for a moment. Suddenly, he tried to slither his way back into favor, offering awkward apologies and empty words. But Yusong wasn't interested in words. He stood firm, his gaze cold and unyielding. Without hesitation, he calmly but boldly challenged, "I'd like to spar with you someday." As he walked away, a fierce vow burned inside him. No matter how long it takes, he would defeat Jindo Gong. That moment came sooner than Yusong expected. The very next day, Jindo accepted the challenge without hesitation, immediately launching into a crushing blow with his opening strike. Yusong barely escaped disaster, saved at the last second by Soso's timely intervention. A new mission flashed across the system interface: defeat Jindo Gong. Though Jindo was weaker than Gihu, who somehow had jumped a whole level overnight, he was still far stronger than Yusong, who found himself only able to dodge the relentless barrage of attacks. Panic crept in as he scrambled to find a way to overcome this overwhelming opponent. What I didn't mention before was that this wasn't their first fight. Yusong had faced Jindo before, in his past life, and had lost, badly. But as those memories resurfaced, Yusong began to anticipate and evade Jindo's tricks, slowly frustrating the cocky senior disciple. What Yusong didn't know was that Jindo held a not-so-secret weapon, the Cheongsheng sword style, an array of techniques taught only to the main disciples, which Yusong is now, but wasn't in his past life, putting him at a disadvantage. Suddenly, Jindo unleashed a devastating Cheongsheng sword-style attack. Yusong braced himself, not just for the impact, but for the perfect moment to strike back. Focusing his Ji, the vital energy force in this world, Yusong summoned his strength and launched a precise counterattack. With a brutal strike, he shattered Jindo's ribs and claimed a hard-fought victory. Months pass, and Yusong's growth becomes undeniable. He reunites with a friend from his past life, Weiyang, who looks to Yusong as an inspiration and develops a deep friendship, one that will soon be tested. And soon, word spreads of a title that reshapes the hierarchy of the academy, the Mythic Three, the most promising disciples of their generation. Jindo, once a part of this elite trio, is quietly replaced by none other than Yusong. Fueled by a new system and the mistakes of a previous life, Yusong is convinced he can reach greatness, but rewriting the past comes with consequences, because while he's fixing what once went wrong, the future is beginning to reshape in ways even he can't predict. Then comes his next challenge, his first escort mission. At first, he's thrilled, nostalgic even. He recalls this escort mission from his past, but this time, there's a change. He's not accompanying the same group he once did. The original security team cancels for mysterious reasons. Instead, he's assigned to the Mupeng security group, and the second he hears the name, everything goes cold. In his past life, everyone assigned to Mupeng perished, every single one. And just like that, the system makes it official. Mission assigned. There's no backing out now, but fate isn't done testing him. He runs into someone he didn't expect to see yet, draped in white robes, marked by a single crimson blossom, Kurang Yang, from the Manhwa sect. In Yusong's past life, Chorang was a name that invoked dread. Now, he's so powerful, Yusong can't even see the level above his head, and for someone with system-powered perception, that's terrifying. Yusong begins to wonder, how much has he really grown? But his thoughts are interrupted. Weiyang is missing, gone without a word. Yusong searches through the village, only to uncover a sinister setup. He finds Weiyang tied up in a room, victim of a twisted plot by an ego-shattered Jingdong, who plans to frame him for theft, ruin his name, and bring Yusong down with him. Jingdong's goons arrive to apprehend Yusong and Weiyang. Who arrives next will shock you. But back at the training hall, the plot is foiled by none other than Chorang, who witnessed Jingdong and his dirty deeds. Turns out Chorang is more than a powerhouse. He's also the Blossom Blade Master, whose words hold weight. With a few calm words, he dismantles Jingdong's lies and unveils the truth. Jingdong is the thief. His punishment? Face Chorang in a duel. It ends in an instant, a single elegant swing, and Jingdong's arm is sliced off. No mercy, no hesitation. Back at the crime scene, Jingdong's goons are defeated. Yusong returns to the training hall and finds himself stepping into a storm. Chorang Yang has issued a challenge to all, an unlimited spar. One-on-one duels. Yusong is nervous. He cannot imagine going up against someone who is not only incredibly strong, but also a future legend who shapes history. But of course, ding! The system makes it official. Mission assigned. The duels rage on. Even rising legends, disciples Yusong hasn't surpassed yet, struggle. So, one of the strongest in the academy, steps up and is pushed to her absolute limit. But something changes. As Yusong watches the fight, he gains a newly upgraded system skill. He can now quantify strength levels. He sees Soso's power clearly, but Chorang's level, still unreadable. Despite that, he now sees just how strong Soso is based on her strength level, growing stronger throughout the battle. And then, he notices something chilling. Chorang is toying with her. The crowd gasps as So-So is finally crushed in a single overwhelming strike. Next up is Gi-Hu, slated to fight Jung Myung, another member of the Manhwa sect, the same warrior who effortlessly took down Jing Dong's crew and saved Wei Yong from his devious plot. Jung and Gi-Hu clash. On paper, their strengths are even, but in battle, Jung's skill is sharper. Gi-Hu bleeds. His strength points start to drop. Every time he thinks he's gained the upper hand, Jung counters. He's battered, bruised, on the edge. But then, something inside Gi-Hu awakens, his strength surges, and with a single thunderous blow, he lands a one-hit KO, defeating Jung in a flash of power. And now, it's Yusong's turn. Yusong versus Chorang Yong. Yusong boldly goes on the offensive, but Chorang is unimpressed and defends with ease. However, Yusong doesn't fight conventionally. His movements are unorthodox. The masters watching from above notice it first. Even Chorang furrows his brow. Freestyle. That's what they call it. And it's working. Yusong is clearly weaker, but Chorang can't predict him. Every move bends logic. The battle grows more intense, and Chorang, frustrated, goes in for the kill. But Yusong teleports. A new system skill saves him at the last second. Still, it's not enough. Chorang responds with a sacred technique from the Manhwa sect, an ancient move that crashes into Yusong like a landslide. He survives, but barely, and that's when Yusong brings out his final weapon, memory. Chorang is fast, but Yusong knows his rhythm. He adapts, strikes, dodges, waits, planning his final move, one that brings all men to their knees. And when Chorang launches another finishing move, Yusong dodges and hits him right where it counts. Ding. Mission complete. The system counts it as a victory. Chorang doesn't take it well. In a blind rage, he pummels Yusong unconscious, only stopped when the masters intervene and subdue him. But as Yusong lies unconscious, we get a glimpse into the past. Turns out, this wasn't just a lucky hit. After his humiliating loss to Chorang in his previous life, Yusong made a very specific promise, to castrate his, jewels. A shameful win? Maybe, but still a win. And when Yusong wakes up, the academy roars with celebration. He's greeted like a hero. But victory is short-lived, confronted with the nightmare that lies ahead, the escort mission with the Mupung security group. And in his past life, no one ever made it back alive. Now that we've walked through the first 20 chapters of Infinite Leveling Murim, let's talk about whether this series is actually worth your time. The story opens with regret. Yusong Dan dies alone, defeated by a world that never rewarded his effort. But then he wakes up, sent back to the beginning of his journey, only this time with a mysterious system that does reward hard work. That's the foundation, and it's one that works beautifully. The plot doesn't rely on gimmicks or shock value. It's coherent, emotionally grounded, and confident in its pace. Every chapter builds on the last. Every failure in Yusong's past becomes a new opportunity. The story knows exactly what it wants to say, that persistence matters, that effort has value, and that redemption is earned, not given. Nothing feels rushed, and there's no narrative whiplash, just a clean, focused journey toward growth. Yusong is the kind of protagonist you don't just watch, you root for. He's not cocky or overpowered. He's introspective, humble, and haunted by failure. But that failure shapes him. It drives him to grind harder, learn faster, and push further than anyone else. Then there's Gi-Hu Jang, the prodigy rival who humiliates him in their first encounter. He's not just strong, he represents everything Yusong once couldn't overcome. That makes their dynamic compelling. So-So Cheon, the cold warrior with a reputation, adds intrigue. She hasn't fully opened up yet, but the setup is strong. Everyone feels like they have their own story brewing in the background. And no, they don't need to be ultra-realistic, but they do need to feel right in this world. And they do. The visuals are clean, modern, and expressive. You won't find experimental art styles here, but that's okay. What matters is clarity and emotion, and this manhwa delivers on both. Action scenes flow smoothly. Facial expressions carry weight, and the muted color palette gives the world a grounded, gritty tone. until those moments of intense emotion or power break through with striking contrast. It's not flashy, but it is effective. Every panel serves the story. At the end of the day, Infinite Leveling Murim is just fun to read. There's something undeniably satisfying about watching a character earn every ounce of their progress. This isn't a power fantasy where the main character wins by default. This is a story about effort, about failure, and about clawing your way back up one step at a time. If you're someone who loves stories built on growth, emotional weight, and rivalries that actually matter, you'll enjoy this, not just because it's good, but because it respects your time as a reader. And that's why I make videos like this, to help you decide whether a story is worth diving into. If this breakdown helped you out, or if you've already read the manhwa and have thoughts of your own, drop a comment and let's talk about it. I'd love to hear your recommendations too. Check out my channel for recommendations, recaps, and reviews. If you want videos just like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thanks for watching.